So I think we can all agree that PlayStation Showcase, press conference, whatever you want to call it, was really not that interesting. After 2 years of hype, they really didn't show much that was particularly intriguing. There was a bunch of indie games, that was for sure. The indie games do look pretty cool, I can't lie. But when it comes to their AAA first party studios, they showed almost nothing apart from SpiderMan, and even that was not particularly interesting. I'm going to mainly focus on SpiderMan here because I do have a couple of criticisms from that gameplay demo and things that I wish was changed, but they didn't bother to change it. But I'll also talk about some of the other games that I found quite interesting, but this will be a short video. Firstly, I'm going to talk about Phantom Blade because that looked the most interesting. Phantom Blade is apparently a hack and slash game, which is pretty tough to assume considering the way it looked in the gameplay demo. It looked very on the rails. It didn't look like you were actually playing it, so I'm very interested to see how the control scheme is, how they're planning to actually bring it all together, because they didn't show any UI, they didn't show the controls, they just showed a basic gameplay demo, and obviously it's the first time we've seen it, so there's plenty of time to show off more. But at the end of the day, it did look like it was one of those games that aren't going to live up to the trailer, you know what I mean? It looked a bit too good, it looked a bit too clean, it looked a bit too flashy, you know what I mean? But that being said, if it is actually like that, if it does actually live up to the hype, we're looking at one of the best games we've ever seen when it comes to like swordplay and stuff like that, because the parrying and the blocking and the attacking, it looks so smooth, and if they've really nailed that and it's actually a game where you can mess around, you can experiment, you can choose different moves and stuff like that, we're looking at one of the best swordplay games we can get right now, better than like For Honor, better than Ghost of Tsushima, better than Assassin's Creed, all of that stuff, so I'm quite looking forward to that. A big one that I noticed, and I'm sure a lot of this will go under the radar for some people because a lot of people don't play indie games. Well, this isn't technically an indie game, but I'd count it. It's from the guys that made Journey. I never completed Journey, but what I played of it, it was gorgeous. It was magnificent. It was like one of those games you could just really chill out and just enjoy and take in the sights. And they've got a new game called Sword of the Sea coming out, and that looks absolutely gorgeous. It looks very similar to Journey, it does, but it's like one of those games where you can just relax and chill out and just enjoy the chill journey, you know what I mean? I'm really looking forward to that. I'm hoping it's really good. I'm hoping it is. I haven't covered any indie games, I don't think, on this channel yet, but that's changing very soon. I've got a Fury review coming out in about a week or two, something like that, so I'm looking forward to that, and I hope you guys are too. Foamstars. Initially, I was like, yeah, this looks cool, but at the end of the day, it's not something I'm going to play, so I'm sure if you're a younger person, you know, born in like 2005 or whatever, I'm getting old, man. If you're a younger demographic, I think Foamstars will suit you. But obviously, if you're a content creator as well and you like Splatoon, it'll also suit you. But it's definitely not a game I'm looking forward to, because I'm probably not going to play it. One of the bigger announcements was Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. It's a remake, I think anyway, they didn't make it very clear, but it does seem to be a remake, as well as bringing the original 2 or 3 games, I think it was the first 3 as Volume 1, to the newer platforms. Those aren't remakes from what I could tell, they're just, you know, basic remasters or just being ported over to the PlayStation 5, Xbox One X, or whatever they're calling it now. So that's going to be really interesting. I've never played Metal Gear Solid 3. Then again, I haven't played Metal Gear Solid 2 or 1. Or 4, actually. I've only played Metal Gear Solid 5 and Metal Gear Solid Revengeance. Rising Revengeance, whatever it's called. And I enjoyed those games a lot, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with this remake. That being said, some of the information that's come out about it, they're using the old voice lines from like 2003, 4, whenever this was made. So I'm very concerned about how they're actually going to remaster those audio lines, because it could sound a bit shit. But then again, if they're remaking it, they've clearly got an idea. But then again, it's also Konami, who's decided to go more into the mobile market rather than the AAA market, and that's never a good sign. But either way, it's a remake of Metal Gear Solid 3, one of the most, you know, popular games of all time. So if they fuck it up, they fuck it up, and no one's going to be excited for whatever they do next. So yeah. And that's also coming to PC and not Xbox 360, Xbox Series X, whatever they call it. Xbox has a serious branding issue, by the way. They need to sort that out. Whatever console they make next time, they need to simplify the shit out of it, because I don't understand half the shit that's going on. Obviously, we've got Final Fantasy 16 coming as well. I've never played a single Final Fantasy game. I don't even know where to start. There was a couple comments when I mentioned that a couple of months ago saying you need to start with this one, you need to start with this one. But I think that's going to be like a project. I'm going to take a month and just kind of work my way through what I'm going to start with, what I'm going to end with. I will get to the Final Fantasy games though. We also have Assassin's Creed Mirage. I can't lie, I want to be excited for it, but I'm just not. It is Ubisoft. It looks like they're going back to roots, but what that really means is they're just doing the same thing they did with Assassin's Creed 1, Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Assassin's Creed Revelations, Assassin's Creed 3, Assassin's Creed 4. You get the point. They're doing the same thing that they did 10 years ago, except this time it's going to look slightly better. I don't see any innovation, I don't see an improvement on AI or any interesting new mechanics, so I'm going to be very critical of it, but I'm happy they've gone away from the RPG stuff. But once again, they have a ton of Assassin's Creed games planned. They've already got 2 others, one's going to be an RPG set in China, I think, so maybe that's the mobile game. That's the thing, they've got a mobile game as well, or Feudal Japan, or whatever. The point is, Assassin's Creed right now, I like that they're going back to their roots, but the branding is kind of all over the place. There's no brand synergy. You don't know what you're buying, really. If you don't watch any of the trailers you see in an Assassin's Creed game, you don't know what you're going to get. Are you going to get an RPG game? Are you going to get the classic game? Are you going to get a mobile game? You know what I mean? You don't really know. It looks cool. Dragons Dogma 2. That looks interesting. I'm going to start playing the first one probably next week after I start my Mass Effect series. That looks pretty interesting. It got me quite hyped to play the original, so I'm looking forward to that, but I've got nothing much else to say about that. Marathon, the new Bungie game. It was a cool CG trailer, but from what I've heard about it, it's a PvP game, and honestly, PvP has not been Bungie's best thing since Halo Reach, because Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 has terrible PvP, so I'm hoping they can kind of live up to the hype there. And obviously we've got SpiderMan 2. SpiderMan 2 looks interesting, okay? It looks very similar to its original, okay? I've got a lot of criticisms, to be honest. Firstly, there doesn't seem to be any fall damage. Again, I kind of wanted to see a fully physics-based web swinging system that had a lot of fall damage, especially with the web suit that they've got going, well, the web wings, whatever you want to call it. We've got the web wings now, which could save you in areas where you couldn't swing from buildings. I kind of hope to see a physics-based web system, but that doesn't seem to be happening here. They also seem to have some sort of protective barrier at the sea. You can see it in the demo where you can't fail. You can just press R2 and you'll be okay. I don't like that. I was really hoping to see innovation there, see some risks taken, but they didn't bother. The combat system looks interesting, but once again, it is the same combat system as the original, and obviously this is a sequel. Okay, you can't expect major changes, but I was kind of hoping to see a more focus on combos, you know, square, triangle. You can use your webs, you can manually use them, you can spin people around, create combos with the symbiote suit, but it seems like they've gone for the, you hold L1 and then press a button or on the D-pad or X or circle, and then it does the ability for you. And I was kind of hoping to see more combos here, something that isn't as simple to keep players more engaged like myself. But that doesn't seem to be happening here. So I still think Web of Shadows has the best combat system for a Spider-Man game. I know people will disagree, but that's just my thoughts. Obviously, you've got a lot of criticisms about the visuals, and I do agree with some of them. Some of them are reaching, but visually, it's not anywhere near the level Jim Ryan was hyping it about. He kept saying, oh my god, it looks like a cinematic, when the reality is, from what we've seen, he probably was just watching a cinematic, like let's be honest. The gameplay doesn't look that massively improved. There's some cool additions, but we've got to see more. We've got to see more before this game releases, which is apparently in this year. But from the look of it, I do think it might be delayed, but there is a chance it won't be. But, you know, it is what it is. It didn't impress me as much as I wanted it to, but, you know, it's still early days. We've still got 5 months before the end of the year. Well, 6 months, really, before the end of the year. So, let's see. Let's see. God of War Ragnarok was quite similar, and that was really fucking good. I give that like a 10 out of 10 if I could, if I do use numbers, but yeah. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I did a reaction stream, but it got copyright struck. Well, it didn't get struck, but they basically said, you're not going to make any money off this. So I said, you know what? Fuck you. I just took it down. So it is what it is. But yeah, those are my thoughts on it. I wasn't really impressed. It was quite a disappointing showcase. They're saying wait till Summer Games Fest, and like, you said wait for this press conference, and well, not a press conference, showcase, but this showcase was incredibly disappointing, really, in the long term, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Anyway, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts down below, and the Arkham City review will be coming tomorrow, not today. I got a bit delayed, but yeah, thank you for watching.